I'm not aware of any specific cells, any sleeper cells, but when you're seeing what's happening in Europe and you're seeing how widespread that is, from France to Belgium to Germany, I think you have to assume that that is certainly a risk that we do have to consider.
So that's the chair of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, a Republican, Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, warning that our intel community must work under the assumption there are terror sleeper cells here already. Katie McFarland served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense in the Reagan administration, a Fox News national security analyst, and good morning to you. Is he right that we assume already that there is a risk here at home?
I think we've got to assume that there's a risk here at home. He's not the only one that's saying this. The Democrat, Senator Feinstein, former chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Republican McCall, congressman, House Intelligence Committee, the head of MI5, the head of MI6, they have all said you have to assume that there are sleeper cells. Senator Feinstein has also added to this, saying that our real vulnerability, our real Achilles heel in America is Europeans who may have gone to train, fight in the Middle East, coming back to Europe, and then entering the United States with our visa waiver program. In other words, they can just come. They don't need a special visa. They just show up, at JFK.
That's intriguing. I mean, that presents a whole new possibility here. When you think about these cells being able to move with not easy ability among European countries, but with easier based on proximity and geography in a simple plane flight. But you're saying that Feinstein is warning that you could come to the U.S. under a visa program and just get lost among the 320 million of us.
Well, what she's saying is that we have a visa waiver program with a lot of European countries, and that means I can get on a plane at JFK Airport, I can fly to London, I don't need an advance visa, I just get the visa as I arrive there, and the same in return. What she's warning about, and what other intelligence officials have warned about, is that a European citizen can go and travel throughout Europe without getting a visa, can in some cases enter Turkey, and then Turkey has a porous border with Syria. So they can go all the way and fight in Syria or in Iraq, fight for ISIS, fight for Al-Qaeda, get training, know how to do car bombs, know how to assemble sleeper cells, and then they reverse their steps going back to Europe and potentially in the United States, either as European citizens or even as American citizens.
Let me get to Panetta in a moment, but would a no-fly list or a system that's in place now prevent this? Would it stop it?
And that's why the good news here is we had those guys in Paris. We had them on the American no-fly list. So we had already seen them coming.
Leon Panetta from CNN on Sunday. Watch here.
What has happened in Paris, what happened in Ottawa, what has happened in Belgium is something that we need to understand, that these terrorists are now engaged in a much more aggressive effort based on their recruiting, based on what's happening in Syria and Iraq and Yemen. They are engaged in a much more aggressive effort to conduct violence, not only in Europe, but I think it's a matter of time before they direct it at the United States.
And I don't think you disagree with him on that.
No, I completely
But it is much more difficult to find these smaller cells like you had in Boston a year and a half ago.
See, they've adapted. They're not trying to do September 11th big-style attacks, and we've gotten good at preventing that. What they're now doing is small cells, family members. In Boston, it was 2 brothers. In Paris, it was 2 brothers. They don't make a lot of waves in the financial community, in the social media community. They're just doing their attack.
And they can lie low.
And they can lie very
until
low. In
they
Paris,
find
they
a
lied
time
low
to strike.
for a couple of years.
We're going to bring you back later in the week. We'll talk about a lot of the new technologies that are being employed here because, frankly, we need them.
And we have them. That's the good news.
Yes. Thank you, KT.
Thank you.
All right.